Hey everyone, so this is just going to be a quick tutorial on how to set up Always Data and deploy your project, your backend there. So this is just assuming you've registered with your email and you've hit create an account. This is the first thing that you'll see. So of course we want to select the free option. The name should be your group name. So let's just say for me it'll be maybe Friday 9A boost, and then enter a password. One that you'd be happy to share with like your entire group, one that you'd be happy to have like published on the internet. So basically don't make it anything you've used for any personal accounts or anything like that. So yeah, you can go ahead and check those boxes, create your account, and it should be linked to your email. So yeah, I've made that one. Okay, so we'll just skip the tutorial for now because that's what I'm gonna do. And we'll head over to the web section on the left-hand side and to sites. And you'll see there's a default site there that's written in PHP. We're not writing PHP code, so you can go ahead and delete that and confirm that. And install a new application. So we've been using Node.js, so we'll select that, and we want an Express server to be deployed. So we'll select express.js. And then you've got to enter some details here. So the name should be COMP1531 Deployed. The address, it's a good idea to just copy the one they suggested because that's your group name followed by the Always Data URL. So make sure you copy that in. And then for the installation directory, just so it's consistent, we'll make that CS1531 deploy. Okay, and you can go ahead and accept those conditions. Cool, all right, so we've got a site, but nothing's been linked to it yet. The settings are all wrong. So the first thing we're gonna go through and do is edit that. So there's a little like cog or wheel icon there, just select that to edit it. And this, you'll be able to change the configuration down here. So we don't run our server with a node command anymore. Well, we shouldn't have in the beginning anyways. So we use npm, the package manager. So we'll use npm start, and we'll end up uploading our package JSON into this, basically into our web server that we've got running. And this Always Data will know where to find your npm start. So you don't have to stress about that. For this working directory, you can leave that as is. So it should read home and then your group name, www, and then that directory that we just made. You can leave the environment as is and the Node.js version as well. If you're unsure what version you're running, so like on your CSE machine, you can type in the word node, hit enter, and the first line that shows up will have the version you're running. So you can change that. If something goes wrong, this is actually a good point to kind of look at and just check, because you might need to downgrade the node version because this is, I think, the most recent node version as of this video at least. So yeah, I'll leave those settings because I know that's the node version I'm running, but just double check that and then hit submit. Okay, so now that we've got the web server settings done, we want to set up SSH so that we can transfer our files onto this remote web server. So we'll go over to remote access and hit SSH on the left-hand side, and you'll see there's an SSH host already given to you as part of Always Data. But again, we want to change some of these settings. So for me, I'm just going to change the password here. Again, you want it to be something that your whole group can use, you'd be happy to share. So set that. And then you're going to have to tick the enable password login down the bottom there as well. So once you've changed those two settings, you can hit submit. And you're good to go there. So basically, if you want to have a look at the SSH host through the web, you can actually do so here. It is web accessible, and it'll look like a little terminal. It's like a shell in a box here, so you can log in through here. But you know, most of us have VLab set up or VS Code set up, so I'll be using that for the rest of this tutorial. So I'm gonna get up VS Code. Okay. So right now I've just got like basically a bare bones backend here that's only got the echo root in it. So I've also got the deploy.sh script here that you can see. This is what will be put into your repo as well. So this is what it will look like. If we just have a look at what it's doing here, you're obviously going to have to replace your username and your SSH host, but SCP, that's going to copy files from your repo. So it'll copy all these packages into the remote SSH host's working directory. So that's what it's doing there. And then you're actually going to SSH into that remote host, and you're going to run npm install for only production. So as we know, npm install will install the packages that you've been using for your project, but the flag only production, what it's going to do is it's just going to install those dependencies that aren't dev dependencies. So if I open up package.json, it's going to install these ones, dependencies, not dev dependencies. And that's okay, because our server doesn't rely on like Jest or anything like that to run. But that's also a common mistake that students will make. If you've accidentally installed something as a dev dependency, and then, you know, your backend's not deploying, you might want to swap it from a dev dependency to just a dependency. And you can do so just by like copying and pasting this line. That's only if your server or any of your backend code relies on it. So that's one thing. But yeah, so I'm going to want to enter my username and password here. So my username is that my group basically. So Friday 9A boost. And then my SSH host, you can also grab this from Always Data. It's at the top of your URL here like that. So I can copy that and I can paste it in here. Cool. And yeah, so that's basically all you need to do to change your deploy.sh. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it. And I can do that just by typing in shell and then deploy.sh. If you hit enter and it doesn't run, or it says something like permission denied, just chuck a chmod +x deploy.sh. Run this command first. That'll give you execute permissions on the script, and then you can go back and run the shell command. Okay, so we'll run that. Yes, we can continue. It's asking me for my password. This is the second password that I set. So I'll enter that once. So what you can see here is it's copying things from my backend into the remote directory now, and it will give you a little status update as you go. And then this second password, it's asking me to enter it because this is now when I SSH into the actual like web server, and it's going to npm install now. So that might take a while depending on how many packages you have. You can see that it's installed them, added 62 packages, no vulnerabilities, cool. So at this point is when you can go back to Always Data, where your sites are, and hit the little refresh button. That'll just, restart your web server. And then you should be able to click on your URL. And that's okay. This cannot get is fine because we don't have anything on our like / root. So for me, I have something in echo. So I might echo hello. And yay, it works. I've got hello. And if I echo, I should get an error. Yeah, okay. So at this point, you can play around with it. It's deployed, it's finished, and it's working. Sometimes you'll get an error that says something like upstream connection closed unexpectedly. There's things on the deploy markdown for you to work through, but most of the time it is just an error that you have to work out in your actual deployment when you run npm start. The best way I find to debug that is if you actually SSH into that account. So if I write in my terminal, you can do this anywhere really, SSH, and then I copy my SSH host. just like that. It should ask me to log in. And then it'll actually spawn a little terminal if I get this right. Maybe not. Oh, okay, I see why. Okay. I need to put the username first, sorry. So I forgot to put the username. You need to put your username first and then an @ symbol and then your SSH host. That was silly. Okay, try that again. Cool, okay, so now I'm SSH'd into the web server. I can change directory to the one that I deployed in, which was this one. Oh, yes, I forgot the word deploy. Yes, okay. And here you can see basically your backend, like a reduced version of it. So if I run npm start here, you can see mine works perfectly. It might be at this point that you start to get some errors. So those errors might give you hints as to why your deployment didn't work. So yeah, that's one place you can check. There's also logs that you can go through and have a look at. So that'll be in admin and in logs. So you can see I can go into HTTP and I can cat, let's see what's in here first. I have to go into 2022. Yeah, okay. I can cat HTTP log, and it basically just shows you the HTTP requests that the web server has faced essentially. So the first one was that 404 because I tried to get that root path, which doesn't exist. And then echo hello was 200. And then yeah, echo as well was 200 because I haven't set errors yet for that root. So yeah, that's basically everything for the deployment. Remember to check out the markdown if you have any troubleshooting issues. Otherwise, you can always post on the forum and we'll try our best to help you through it. All right, good luck guys. See ya.